Welcome to this series, Tricky Questions and Straight Answers, Answers to Biblical Queries. Thank you very much for that wonderful question. I take a lot of classes on Bible and science, and I face this question many a times. This is a natural question. The question is, age of the earth according to the Bible is correct or wrong? Can you say that the aging of the universe according to the Bible is right? Yes, two school of thoughts about the age of the universe. According to many scientists, this universe is very old. And according to the followers of Bible, no, the earth is not that old. It is an young earth. So this question arises in that background. I'll come to the explanation in connection with this question with the help of a slide. According to some scientists, the universe was formed 13.7 billion years back, 1,370 crores years according to the Indian reckoning. Very old. And they say that life was originated about 4.5 billion years back, according to Indian system, for 50 crores of years. The atheists and other critics of the Bible allege that the earth was formed 6,000 years back only according to the Bible. Maybe the universe is a little more older, but in any case, the earth or the universe is very young according to the followers of the Bible. That is their allegation. Therefore, they argue that the Bible is wrong. See, science has proved something and the Bible is holding something against that. Whenever there is a dispute between facts, between the Bible and science, they believe that the science should prevail and the description in the Bible should be treated as wrong. That is their argument. They don't stop it there. Then they try to establish that the God of Bible also is a mythical one, because there are a lot of errors in the Bible, and the concept of God in such an erroneous book has to be mythical. It cannot be true and all. Now let us come to the question. Does the Bible fix the age of the earth? Do you read any verse in the Bible to say that the universe or the earth is so many years old? No, the Bible doesn't directly give any age for the earth or the universe. Archbishop James Ussher of Ireland calculated based on the genealogies in the Bible that the earth was formed on 23rd October 4004 BC. Not directly given by Bible, it is a calculation of the person. He calculated the genealogies. In the genealogy, it would be said that somebody was born to somebody at the age of 40, somebody was born to that person at the age of 70, somebody was born to that third person at the age of 30, like that. So from that, you can arrive at an age for the humanity. And from that, age of the earth. That is what Ussher tried to do. But in the Jewish tradition, only the worthy people are included in the genealogies. Not the poor people or beggars or such unworthy people will not be included in their genealogies. Actually, there is no difference between people. God created them. They are all alike. Whether you are a beggar or a scientist or whatever it is, you are all alike. But according to their reckoning, considered them to be not worthy and therefore included only worthy people in their genealogies. It is almost like a milestone. The milestones are in every 1 mile, isn't it? Just like that. There are the genealogies. Only the worthy people were shown in between. Here, there, like that. So all the generations were not shown. Scholars point out such gaps in the main genealogies of the Bible. There are a number of lists of genealogy. They differ from each other and they are not exhaustive. It is very clear. And many scholars point out that. Therefore, the assertion that the earth is 6,000 years back only according to the Bible is wrong. Whether it is given by an archbishop or somebody else, a scholar or whatever it is, no. The right age is not given. However, the earth cannot be as old as some people forecast in the name of science. Some people forecast that the earth is 13.7 billion years and all. Let us come to the proof for an young age. There are a number of scientific proof to believe that the earth is relatively young compared to the age proposed by some scientists. Some scientists propose 13.7 billion years to the universe, and for the earth nearly 500 and such other calculations. But according to the Bible, it can never be so old. There are a number of scientific proofs for that also, for an young age. Let us come to the magnetism of the earth first. It is declining at a constant rate. Data for about 200 years is available in many important observatories in the world. It reveals that the magnetism of the earth, the power to attract things towards its core, that is declining at a constant rate. From the current strength of magnetism, we can extrapolate the magnetic power of the earth, maybe 10,000 years, 15,000 years, 1,000 years, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, any number of years. It is almost like, I had a pound of money. I was spending $1,000 per day. Now I have left $10,000. What would have been the amount of money in my hands 10 years back? It can be calculated back. That is known as extrapolation. If the rate of decline is constant, we can go on calculating what was yesterday, day for yesterday, like that, and finally calculate the strength of magnetic power of the core of the earth on any given day. When we go back like this, about 15,000 years or even lesser, the earth would have been like a magnetic star absorbing everything. Think about a magnetic star, it can absorb even light. So it means that life was impossible on the surface of the earth before 15,000 of years. The life would have been impossible. The earth cannot be as old as believed by the scientists. Where is 13.7 billion and 15,000? Likewise, the salinity of the ocean is increasing every year, every day, by the influx through rainwater from the earth. The only source for salt in the sea is from the earth. It is reaching the sea with the rainwater. It is increasing every day at a constant, precise rate. We can calculate the salinity yesterday. It would be a little lesser. Day before yesterday, it would be even lesser. 10 days back, it would be even lesser. 100 years back, it would be even lesser. And we can reach a day when there was zero salinity. If we go back like that, 25,000 years back, there would have been no salinity to the water in the ocean. What does it mean? The ocean formed on that day. The island formation is also similar. The present day islands would have taken 30,000 years to form. The soil for the islands comes from the earth. By landslide and by carrying the earth in floodwaters and rainwaters, it reaches the ocean. And they are deposited to form the islands. So the present day islands would have taken maximum 30,000 years to form. Likewise, in the crust of the earth, there are radio halos. Halo, and some pictures of Jesus and deities, you may see an aura of light around them. That is known as halo. Radioactivity has a glow. In the crust of the earth, there are halos. We know that it is declining it at a specific rate. So we can calculate what would have been the first day of this halo by reckoning backward on a day when it was in full brightness. So according to that calculation, the age of Earth would have been 40,000 years. Science itself proves that the Earth cannot be too old as portrayed by some scientists. No, it cannot be. There are a number of scientific facts to prove that the Earth is not as old as they say. Why are they hiding this? Such statistics is not brought out. One thing, anything against the mainland view, especially the mainland view on evolution, will not be made known. It will be hidden. That is why such data are not shown in our textbooks. The biblical view is actually closer to reality rather than science. The earth is much younger than what the science forecast. Why science committed this error in scientific view? There is a reason. The Darwinian view of evolution was popularized in the middle of the 19th century. By the beginning of the 20th century, it was widely accepted. The world was behind it. Many of the scientific fraternity in other fields of science also found it convenient to exclude Christian morality, which was an obstacle to wanton enjoyment of pleasure. And this God was an inconvenient person for them because he was so holy and his commandments were very strict on holiness. So they felt that it is very difficult to follow him. So they decided that if we can abolish this God, or if we can eradicate God concepts from the surface of the earth, there will be nothing to prevent them from enjoying the pleasure which they wanted to. Darwinism influenced many in the scientific community, and you can see a decline in the holiness standard. See, every other sin, so-called sin, like adultery, homosexuality, and such other things, have increased along with the growth of evolution, because evolution was helpful to them to hide God and live as if there is no God. Darwinism needed much time to occur, as it happens by unintelligent chance events, together known as natural selection. The mechanism of evolution, according to Darwinism, is natural selection. Nature selects the fittest organisms. See, in every generation, there may be some variations in the offsprings. If there is a superior offspring, the nature will select it, allow it to flourish it more and more, and become a dominant species. That is the concept of evolution. Survival of the fittest. By chance, fittest things are found, and such chance events will be encouraged by nature. For example, if there is a boy who has better capacity to swim because of a flattening of his hands or whatever it is, if a flood comes, he will be better equipped to survive, because during a flood, somebody who can swim will be saved, others may die. This boy gets an additional opportunity to survive, and his offsprings will survive at the expense of those who couldn't. This is so in the case of competition for food and such other things also. The successful ones will flourish, others will perish. This is the law of evolution, survival of the fittest. This is a chance event. And as a matter of fact, variation is not advantageous always. Not only that, 99% of variations are disadvantageous, and only 1% are somewhat neutral, or a few may be advantageous. It is a very rare occurrence. Such a phenomenon is so slow. So, for a species to evolve, it will take thousands of years. That is why no evolution has been noticed in the written historical period of the last, say, 4,000 years, 5,000 years. Nobody has ever noticed evolution. Evolution is not noticeable, not observable, because they say that it is so slow. Darwinism need a very long timeline, vast timeline. Therefore, they started redefining their theories, every other branches, be it cosmology or physics or whatever it is. Everybody started redefining their theories to accommodate the timeline for Darwinism. Why? Everybody started believing in Darwinism. As a matter of fact, the evolution of stars and such other things are talked about now. They say that the same principles of organic evolution are applicable to evolution of stars, planets, and all those things. It is a funny thing. It was so encompassing, so captivating that evolution forced all other scientists to redefine their theories. Even in calculating the age of Earth, they readjusted. That's how they gave a huge age to the universe and Earth. Their methodology would reveal the falsehoods in this calculation. Wrong method used by some scientists for fixing the age of the universe. Quite often, we are given to understand that the age of the universe is fixed by radio dating. Oh, they would have conducted some radio dating, carbon dating, or potassium argon dating, or whatever it is. They would say that they would make it appear. They will not clearly say, they would make it appear that there are radioisotope technologies to date the age of the Earth, but there is none. For example, during carbon-14 dating techniques, you can date only living things. That too, up to the age of 50,000 years only. And interestingly, even that dating is not correct. The radioactive dating techniques are only theoretical dating techniques. They are not like our meter scale with which you can exactly measure 10 centimeters. No. For example, there are a number of published literature about wrong dating. For example, carbon dating. Carbon dating gives the number of years after the death of an organism. You can calculate how many years back that organism died. I will not go to the details. Okay. So they took a live ammonite, that is a mollusk, with a shell and also shelled animal, and measured its age, and they found that it died before 3,000 years while the ammonite was swimming in water. They got an answer of 3,000 years before it died. If you measure your age also using carbon dating, it may be 10,000 years, 15,000 years, 50,000 years, and such other huge timeline. And don't do it if you are unmarried, because such an age will deprive you of the chances of getting married. Just joking. Okay. These dating techniques are all theoretical dating techniques, and you will not get the exact year. So even that is not used for the aging of the universe or Earth. Then how do they do? It is only a speculative consensus. The major cosmologists came to a consensus that, yes, for this universe to become like this. See, after the Big Bang, it was shattered, then it had to cool down, then it had to become like the planet Earth, moon, sun, etc. So they are speculating and calculating the age of the Earth. No radioactive technique. It is speculative technique. If it appears so, it should be so. Such apparently logical arguments, but it is by and large speculative. Coming to the dating of the Earth, it is really funny. How do they date the Earth? Based on the consensus of some paleontologists, the age of some fossils, which are preconceived to have evolutionary significance, is determined based on the geological strata in which they were found. I'm sure that you may be confused. I use the word fossil. What are fossils? These are dead remains of animals in the strata of the Earth. When you dig down the strata of the Earth, you may find some highly preserved organisms or some trails left by them, or some fecal pellets and such other things. These are all fossils. So the fossils are witnesses for an animal which lived at a point of time. What the paleontologists did is they identified some fossils preconceived to have some evolutionary significance. Who decided that it has evolutionary significance? They themselves. They identified some fossils and they called it index fossils, and dated based on the strata of the Earth in which they were found. For example, one index fossil is Trilobita. This is an illustration. Okay, suppose Trilobita got extinct 30 million years. If you find a trilobite fossil, they will say that this strata should be at least 30 million years old because you found a trilobite there. After that, no trilobite lived. So they date a strata having a trilobite fossil has to have minimum 30 million years. That's how they date the strata. So they identified some index fossils like trilobites, a number of ammonites, brachiopods, graptolites, trilobites, etc. So how did they date these animals? Based on the age of the strata in which they were there. Then, based on the presence of an index fossil, they dated the age of the strata. You understood the foolishness? This is a case of circular logic. Index fossils are dated based on the age of the geographical strata in which they are. How do you date index fossils? By the age of the strata in which they were found. And how do you date geological strata? It is based on the index fossils which are found in them. If you find a ammonite in a particular strata, you will say that this is so many years back. Therefore, it belongs to a Miocene or Cretaceous or some geological strata. Don't worry about the names of the strata and all. So it is circular logic. The fossils are dated based on the age of the strata, and the age of the strata is decided based on the age of the fossils. It is not a circular logic. It is not permitted in logic. It is a fallacy. The calculation of the age of the Earth by the science is totally erroneous and totally wrong. It led to the total miscalculation of everything. They wanted to accommodate evolution, and therefore they gave a lavish date for various Earth strata. But this is not borne out by scientific facts. It is wrong. Dear brothers and sisters, this universe is created by God, not before 13.7 billion years or 10 billion years ago or 1 billion years ago or 1 million years ago. It is much recent. The Earth is not that old. There is another proof also. Those who calculate the population, secular demographers, they say that the population of this Earth started growing only some 4,200 years back. Before that, there were very few people. But around 2200 BC, it started climbing up. What is the significance of 4,200? Roughly, that is the time of Noah's flood. Only a few people were in this earth, and they started increasing after Noah's flood, which means that the biblical narrative is correct. And the earth cannot be as old as they say. The population which is present today would have taken only roughly the calculated 4,000 years after Noah's flood to reach today's level. The calculation of the age of the earth is precise as per the Bible. Yes, this God is a mighty God who created the required energy for the origin of the universe. Yes, He is a mighty God. Let us bow down before Him and obey Him in everything. Let us follow Him. Thank you, one and all. I hope that this session was useful for you. Thank you.